You're listening to the Rewrite the Rules podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Harriet.
I'm Beth.
And I'm Natalie.
You want to work towards achieving true food and body image freedom, you are in the right place.
Rewrite the Rules podcast is your survival guide to letting go of harmful societal expectations and unlearning any unhelpful beliefs that are stopping you from having a healthy and loving relationship with food and yourself.
Our mission is to help you feel heard, understood, and empower you to step out of the box and rewrite your rules so you can live life on your terms. Thank you for tuning in.
Hello, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to episode 23 of the Rewrite the Rules podcast. Today you have myself and Natalie, and we thought that this would be a really interesting topic to talk about today, as we know that so many of you are going to be able to relate with this topic. And the topic is the weird things that we bought in the name of weight loss. So I know for me, on reflection, it was a hell of a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And we are putting our hands up and confessing to all the money that we literally put down the drain due to diet trends, fads, gadgets, and everything else that we purchased in the hope it would magically make us lose weight, which now, you know, in the cold light of day, we can tell ourselves it did nothing but make us skint.
Absolutely. We were essentially just burning money. And I do feel like I've got an embarrassingly long list of things that I just sort of threw my money at. And honestly, on reflection, I just wish I'd been a bit more educated about. And I think these sort of purchases for me started at around age 16. I'd got like my first little job, I'd got my first like my own debit card, and I was sort of able to start purchasing from the internet. And I feel like so many people are going to have the same experience.
Yeah.
I'm not really surprised that I fell into this sort of thing this quickly. So one of my first purchases, I believe, was one of those like ab stimulators. So it came with like the gel, and you'd like put it on your stomach and you'd like wrap it around and like secure the Velcro. And it basically just like electronically stimulated your abs. So here was me, young Bethany, wanting a slimmer waistline. I wanted abs and I didn't want to work out. Okay. This was the version of me that hated exercise, didn't want to move a muscle, but I was like, I want a tiny waist and I want abs. So did it work? No, absolutely not.
Do you know what I really want to say? Did it?
It did nothing. And does it work for weight loss in general? Does it work for gaining abs? No. Actually, when I did research into it, it was actually originally designed as like a physical therapy tool for people with like serious muscle injuries to sort of like treat injured or paralyzed muscles. However, like the 2012 dieting industry, which was when I was 16, very much used this as like an opportunity for financial gain. They really just like jumped on it. So I'm interested to hear whether you've ever heard of like the ab stimulators or whether you actually even like tried one for yourself.
I had one. I've still got it in my drawer.
Confessions are coming out now.
I know. Like, why it's still in the drawer, I don't know, but I remember I was with someone a very long time ago and he had it, and like this was when as well I was with, you know, certain types of people that were very influential on trying to make me lose weight. Oh, you look better if you look like this, or you look better if you go to the gym. And they suggested giving this to me. And yeah, I used to walk around at work at that point when I worked in a hotel, and I would wear it underneath my work top for my shift.
God, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's mental. Like that was such a thing, wasn't it? And even I remember I worked in a job like a supermarket during like COVID, the beginning of it, and there was a lady that I used to work with, and she was an older lady, like I would say she was in her 60s, and I could see she'd have one on all shift. And because I could see the tensing of her muscles, we genuinely thought, or she genuinely thinks, that that is going to give us the body that we want.
Yes, absolutely. It is so crazy. And I bet you so many people did the exact same thing because it was such a craze. Yes, we had access to the internet, so we could purchase these things, but I don't feel like there was the information or education on these things. It was just push, 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 sell, 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 and we fell for it. What was like a weird thing that you sort of like fell into and threw your money at then?
The weird thing that I bought into in the name of dieting and losing weight was fat burning pills, supplements. So I remember at the time I was working, I was dancing, and I was on stage all the time. And it was very much a part of being a dancer that you wanted to look good in your costume, you know. We were drinking all the time, so like we wanted to like counteract all of that and not eating the best. And but God, I didn't need to. My body then, I was underweight. I didn't need to be doing all of those things. I never needed to be doing them, no matter what my weight. But I went online and I saw these fat burning pills, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, I'm going to get them. So I put all my information on, signed up for it. It then got sent to me, started taking them. And then I think I read up on the ingredients. I was like, this is literally, the ingredients were just like fruit powder. So I was obviously like, what the hell is this? Like, I'm not going to get them anymore. And then by that point, I got sent a statement and I saw that they'd taken like £250 out. So they'd like auto, like, you know, when you do like a renewal of your subscription, they just done it early. And I think I rung them and they only gave me £50 back of it.
Oh my God.
And I was
It's a lot
like,
of money.
it's a lot of money. And I was only 20 then. Yeah, well, I must have been 20. So to me, £250 at that point when I was getting paid nothing, I was like devastated. But yeah, have you ever bought any of, you know, supplements, diet pills?
Yeah, we definitely fell into that one as well. And
Yeah.
when we sort of like mention supplements, don't get me wrong, there are like a couple out there that are beneficial for your health. We are not talking about them at all,
Yeah.
because supplements, they're supposed to like add to your quality of life. They're supposed to benefit you. Whereas these that are labeled like purely as like weight loss are so bad for you and so full of nothing really. I fell into things like raspberry ketones. And thankfully, I didn't take them for too long, because even though we didn't really have access to internet, like good research at that time, it had like come through my friendship group that people were having like really bad reactions to them and like really bad stomach problems. So luckily, I'd like bought them and only taken a couple because I just sort of like chickened out. And obviously, I won't bore you guys with like the ins and outs, but I assure you that we now do our own research on everything. And these like raspberry ketones were just sort of like advertised as a weight loss pill. I genuinely thought that they were going to be a miracle pill for me to lose weight. Like I saw them, I purchased them thinking this is going to be the magic pill. We're here to tell you that there's never going to be a magic pill. There is no such thing as a magic pill or a magic shake or a magic food or anything like that. And if anyone tries to suggest that to you, then just turn around, walk in the other direction. But like I did exactly the same with fat burners, or they're called like fat metabolizers.
Yeah.
Depending where you get them from. And they're all sort of like the same thing. And I'm just shocked at how many young girls were like able to get access to them. Like 16-year-old me was able to just buy these things off the internet, no clue what's in them, throw my money into like an empty void. And, you know, thankfully, nothing negative really happened physically to me. It may not have been that way. And I've heard like so many horror stories ever since. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whatever your health goal is, it's always going to be more beneficial for you to put that time, that energy, that money into things like good quality food instead of buying like overpriced, ridiculous supplements online. Because like we said, there's no like magic pill or magic fix. And like Natalie, you might just end up with some fruit powder.
Fruit powder in a capsule. It's so difficult because you get so sucked into it, and then it's not until you like stand back and you're like, oh my God, I cannot believe that I did it. But it's true, like even the fat metabolizer pills, I've heard so many horror stories, and I know people that have been on them and like passing out because they really speed up your heart rate. It can cause significant damage. So for anybody out there thinking of doing that, let us just tell you, they don't work, okay? And you don't need to be doing that damage to your body. And literally, Beth, like you said, spend that money on foods that you love, not cutting anything out. Yeah, like you said as well, with supplements, I take supplements, you know. I have got like everything, like vitamin D, you know, these things can be of benefit, you know, improving your energy, and but those pills, no.
Absolutely. And I think it's sad sometimes that they get like put in the same category. And it made me like very against any sort of pills for a very long time. And it was only until a couple of years ago I started taking things like multivitamins and like vitamin D, like especially in the winter. And I found it so beneficial. I just sort of regretted having this like negative experience in the first place, because it prevented me from supplementing my body in like a healthier way. But yeah, at that age, it was just so easy to like fall victim to that advertisement. And I just look back and think, we were so naive, we were so impressionable. Hopefully, like through this episode, because there's like still so many of these advertisements out there, like I still happen to come across the raspberry ketones, the silly ab machines, and I'm really hope that people aren't still buying into this. So if you're considering it, this is your sign. Save your money.
This is your sign, yeah.
But the next thing that I purchased wasn't an expensive item, but it was one of those like little waist trainers, like the fabric ones. It was literally off eBay. It wasn't like the professional, massive, expensive waist trainers that you see like professionals use. This was just very cheap, very tatty. But I was convinced, again, exactly like the pills, this is going to be the thing to give me the flat stomach that I wanted. I obviously still wanted to lose weight, but I was like very self-conscious about my stomach area. And I was like, this is going to be the thing that gives me the stomach that I want. And I'm actually like a bit embarrassed to like share a couple of these things with you, because when I was thinking about this topic, it sort of like unlocked a couple of memories for me. But I feel like it's important to share because I think a lot of people are gonna have had the same experience, and I just want to like validate everyone. So I didn't just like wear this waist trainer out and about. I would actually sleep in it as well.
No.
Yeah, I was obsessed with just trying to have a flat stomach when I woke up. And I was like obsessed with like my morning body. And I was just like, you know what, as if I can just wake up with the body I want to have, I'll be happy. I really thought having this waist trainer, like compressing my stomach all night, was a solution. But I'd also wear it to the gym as well. I was thinking, God, this is so versatile. I absolutely love this. So I was convinced that it was going to also cause me to sweat more with it on, therefore burning more calories. And because I was wearing it around my midsection, I was convinced it was going to cause me to like burn more like fat around my stomach because of where it was situated. So obviously I understand now way more about like the science of fat loss and how you cannot just pick one place to lose body fat from. But once again, displays how uneducated I was, how vulnerable I was at the time. But I even like thought that it was going to improve my digestion. And I just think, God, how was I so impressionable at that age and just like falling into another advertisement? So to like give a quick review, it did nothing. It did absolutely nothing. I think the only thing, yes, it may have made me sweat a tiny bit more, but that was literally it. Okay. So if you are once again considering something like that, turn around, save your money.
Turn around, walk away from it. I was exactly the same. I remember it was very much that era of, all I can like picture is like Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner, Nicki Minaj. It was very much that, well, there's been so many phases, isn't there, of what's been popular in terms of body image wise, but it was very much the age of having the tiny waist and then your hips coming out. And yeah, I got exactly the same. I've probably actually still got that in the drawer too. Like I should have had them in the background and then like held them up. But yeah, all it did, in all honesty, is actually make me uncomfortable. Like I remember I used to get really bad stomach pain with it, and it just made me have a sweaty stomach. You know,
absolutely.
what to do.
And all it does really is like trap air as well. That's why you're going to feel discomfort. But you mentioning like Nicki Minaj has just like unlocked a whole new memory for me. So like at this stage, it wasn't as much the goal of like being curvaceous. It was just trying to be as small as possible, because I vividly remember buying sort of like the teen magazines and seeing people like Miley Cyrus sort of as Hannah Montana, and like all the Disney Channel girls and like Selena Gomez, and like they were all very petite because they were children, but I'd literally cut out their like bodies, including their heads. I wouldn't decapitate them, but I'd like cut them out, glue them on a piece of paper all together and like use that as like inspiration to diet in the first place. And it's just
madness.
it is crazy what we used to do to ourselves as children.
As children,
Literally a
like
child.
100%. And you're looking up to a version of someone that is so far removed from you, who is probably being very controlled in the way that they have to look, who is a
Yeah.
child, like you just said, also who lives a lifestyle that you don't live, you know. They are
Yeah.
probably being told what to eat. They probably don't have that control over that. And we just end up aspiring to be someone that just isn't us. So
The fact that you mentioned that as well is so interesting, because I don't know whether you've seen Jeanette McCurdy's new book, who was, I think her name was Sam in iCarly. I don't know whether you ever watched
do you know
iCarly.
what? I didn't have Disney Channel. We didn't have the money, and I literally, everyone, I used to go around my friends' houses and be like, can you just put it on just for like half an hour, because I'm missing out.
Yeah. I was supposed to be for my little sister to watch, but it was so good that I was like, I'm there too. But she was so tiny, and I just used to like see her arms, see her legs, be like, I want to be like that. And if like you learn more about her story now, she was very much trapped in an eating disorder. And I'm just
Wow.
like, oh my God, you really don't know what other people are going through, but they're also children, and you can't aspire to have a child's body.
Sorry for interrupting the episode, but we just want to give a very quick shout out to our sponsors, us.
If you're loving this episode and the podcast so far and want to support this podcast further, then head to the link in the show notes and show your appreciation by donating us a coffee. We'd massively appreciate it.
There are also other ways to support us for free, like dropping us a rating and review on whatever platform you're currently listening to us on. If you're watching us on YouTube, then please like and subscribe.
And you can, of course, follow us on Instagram. It's at Rewrite the Rules Pod, and share our podcast with anyone that you think will love it.
We do all offer our own coaching and therapy packages if you would like to work with any of us. All links to those and more info are all once again in the show notes.
Now let's get back to the podcast. Is there anything else that you've sort of like thrown money into the void at?
My last thing is I bought so many products when I was with a weight loss group. I literally was like, no other food will be bought other than these products that are from this weight loss group. At one point, I literally would like every week, I'd like have a day where I'd go on my phone, go on the website, order everything. Things would be out of stock. I'd get really annoyed. I'd go to the weight loss group, I'd buy them there. And it was like, everything was like sugar-free. Now, let me tell you, when you have too many sugar-free products, you're going to see that toilet a hell of a lot of times throughout the day. It's so bad for your stomach, and I would be in such pain because your body can't handle that many sugar-free additives in it. But yeah, that was one of them. And also the last thing as well, which I really forgot to say, the one thing that really annoys me about Holland and Barrett, I love you because you do good for me, but also you still sell that bloody boo tea.
I hate it. It's disgusting, and I just don't understand how they're still getting away with it. But it's not just like teas, like it's like, you know, weight loss shakes as well. And it's just, it all drives me crazy. If we could all just go back to eating 3 meals a day, focus on what we're consuming, like prioritizing that and ensuring that is making us feel good. Like, do not spend your money on shakes and teas. Spend it on food, please.
Yes, please. Spend it on actual things that you can consume, you can eat, not drink, because this is when you start slipping into that trap and then you start restricting, that is such a big percentage of the reason why these unhealthy habits get formed, and you start getting that unhealthy relationship with food and how you view your body and things like that. Holland and Barrett is a shop that is promoting health. In my eyes, that is so far removed from health. Shall we sum up why we feel like maybe these products are so sort of alluring to, you know, anyone that may be looking at them, and why we should try and avoid them?
Yeah, I definitely just think it's just a simple fact of how they are advertised. And they're advertised as just like a quick and effective weight loss tool that doesn't require much effort from you. You know, when I started buying these things off the internet, I wasn't even old enough to join a gym, even, you know, old enough to learn to drive a car, to get myself to the gym. I really hated working out at this point. So I wanted to find a solution that didn't require any effort from me. And it was just perfectly packaged, perfectly wrapped. All you've got to do is pay for it and consume it, and it's going to work magic. And I just think it's how it's advertised and how it's delivered.
Definitely. And I completely agree. Like, these products are shown as drink this, wear this, this is the outcome. And let's be honest, dieting, restricting, when you're doing something like that for so long, it's a long slog. It's not fun. So seeing something as, oh my God, literally, I just have to wear this and I get this outcome, of course, you're going to want to buy into it. It's these marketing tactics and schemes that companies use. They do work, you know, they've worked for however long. They know the correct language, and obviously that the promoting tricks to get us to buy them. But, you know, that's why we're here. And we hope that you will listen to this and be like, I don't need to buy those things anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, especially like you mentioning that weight loss group and like their food they used to have, I actually used to go to a weight loss group like with my mom when I was like very, very young. She just used to like take me along because obviously she didn't have any childcare. And I'd see them like selling like the sugar-free sweets and stuff. And I'd be like, I'm only like 7, 8 years old. I'm like, I want those sweets, not realizing that they were different sweets. So if you're brought up with it as well, only eating sugar-free sweets, only eating low sugar cookies and things like that, you've also got to like unlearn that. So you're already coming into this industry that you've been conditioned from a very young age anyway, without even realizing it. So then you get hit with these advertisements, you already believe it anyway.
Yeah.
So that makes it extra hard.
Like that. Yeah. So there's probably loads more that we could talk about. I think this is I love doing this. Weirdly, I'm not saying I love the fact that we went through all of those things and wasting our money, but like, it's so interesting to remember the things that you done, because first of all, I thought, no, there wasn't really anything. Of course there was things that I bought. So we just really hope that, you know, our tales today, you maybe learn from them. Look, the simple plain fact is these products don't work, unfortunately. You know, it might be difficult to hear, but they didn't work for us. And look, you can find happiness simply just from living in the skin you're in. And of course, we know that is difficult. You know, that's why we do this podcast, and that's why we've been where we have been. But because obviously the world states otherwise sometimes. But yeah, take it from us. We've done that, been there, done that, worn the t-shirt, wasted the money.
Absolutely. And just please put your money into, you know, way more beneficial things that will actually improve your quality of life and increase your happiness. And that's like the big message that I want you guys to take away from this episode. I think this is a really important episode to make because I still see bits of these advertisements flying around. And the last thing I want is for one of our listeners to fork out their hard-earned money and for it to just be wasted. So yeah, that's it from us this week. Thank you so much for listening, guys, and we will see you later.
Yes, see you later, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.